Today's story is about two neighbors who fall in love, but the circumstances make their relationship incredibly complicated. On one side, there's a boy from a wealthy family who is too afraid to confess his true feelings due to the fear of his family. On the other side, there's an innocent girl from a middle-class family who finds herself torn between the love she holds in her heart and her deeply rooted self-respect. The story begins in a college library. During a writing workshop, the professor asks a girl to share what she has written. The girl responds, "Nothing." Hearing this, the professor remarks, "If you didn't write anything, what was the point of coming here?" However, the girl had actually written something, but she quietly hides the paper in her pocket and leaves without a word. Her name is Rochelle, and she begins narrating her story. Rochelle tells us that she comes from a middle-class family, living in a modest home located next to a grand mansion owned by Barcelona's wealthiest family, the Hidalgo family. This luxurious mansion resembles a palace, but Rochelle's small house stands in stark contrast. She lives there with her mother. The Hidalgo family has 3 sons, the eldest, Artemis, the youngest, Apollo, and the middle one, Ares, who happens to be Rochelle's secret crush. Rochelle confesses that she loves Ares so much that she has meticulously saved every little detail about him in her laptop, his workout routines, his preferences, and even his dislikes. But the most curious part? She has never spoken to him face to face. One evening, while using her laptop, Rochelle notices her Wi-Fi isn't working. As she checks the router, she sees Apollo sitting outside her window. She asks him, "Are you using my Wi-Fi? How did you get the password?" Apollo casually replies, "My brother Ares gave me the password. There was no signal in my room, so I came here." He then gets up and leaves. Unbeknownst to her, this exchange about the Wi-Fi password sets the stage for the entire story. Later that night, Rochelle is woken up by loud music blasting through her Wi-Fi. She looks out the window to find Ares standing below, playing music at full volume on a laptop. Frustrated, she calls out, "Are you seriously using my Wi-Fi for this? Turn it down and leave." Ares smirks and replies, "You know a lot about me. Well, now I know something about you too." He then cheekily calls her a witch and walks away. The next morning, Rochelle is at college chatting with her best friend, Yoshi. Yoshi jokes with her saying, "Rochelle, one day I'll be your husband." Rochelle just laughs it off, as always. Later, she heads to the college football field where the boys are working out. She's there just to catch a glimpse of Ares. Suddenly, it starts raining, and everyone scatters. Ares begins walking home on foot, and Rochelle, unable to resist, starts following him from a distance. However, after a while, she loses sight of him and begins looking around nervously. In her search, she accidentally falls into a pothole. She manages to stand up, but as she continues looking for Ares, he suddenly appears behind her. Startled, she jumps a little. Ares smirks and asks, "Why are you following me?" Rochelle, flustered, quickly denies it, stammering, "I wasn't following anyone." Ares steps closer, grabs her hand, and writes something on her hand. With a sly smile, he says, "This is your Wi-Fi password, right?" "Because of the Wi-Fi password, I had to hack your entire laptop. I saw all the files on it, and it's full of my photos and information. Why are you doing all this?" Ares asks Rochelle directly. Feeling nervous, Rochelle softly replies, "Because I love you, and I want you to love me too." Hearing this, Ares bursts out laughing and says, "You're not even my type." Rochelle, holding back her emotions, calmly responds, "We'll see about that later. For now, just drop me home. I'm scared to go alone." Ares smirks mischievously and says, "Fine, but only on one condition. If you kiss me." Shocked, Rochelle initially refuses, but eventually agrees. As Ares leans in to kiss her, he suddenly stops and steps back, saying, "It's getting late. Let's go." He drops her off at her house, leaving Rochelle feeling confused. Once inside, Rochelle immediately turns off her Wi-Fi and sits down to have dinner with her mother. Later that night, Aries sneaks into Rochelle's room. Startled, Rochelle jumps and asks angrily, "Why are you here so late at night?" Aries casually replies, "Someone turned off the Wi-Fi, so I came to fix it." Aries pulls out a chair for her and tells her to sit quietly. He kneels down and begins to slowly touch her feet, kissing them lightly. Rochelle's heart starts racing, but before the situation escalates, Aries says, "Good night, witch," before leaving through the window. The next day, Rochelle is working at a cafe where her friend Yoshi is also present. Suddenly, Aries walks in, and Rochelle tries to hide, but Aries spots her. Jokingly, he says, "Your job seems very interesting," and then leaves after inviting her to the opening party of his club. He adds, "You can bring someone with you if you want." Later that evening, Rochelle arrives at the party with her friend Daniela. Daniela, full of excitement, is thrilled by the lively atmosphere of the club. Meanwhile, Rochelle spots Aries heading toward the VIP area. She tries to follow him, but a guard stops her, saying, "No entry without the password." Just then, Artemis arrives and allows Rochelle to enter. However, even after getting inside, she doesn't see Aries. Feeling disheartened, she steps out through the back door and notices Aries standing alone in an alley. Rochelle approaches him and starts talking. As they get closer, she leans in and kisses him. Aries begins to reciprocate, but Rochelle suddenly pulls back with a playful smile and says, "You've messed with a witch, and now you'll have to pay for it." Back at the bar, Rochelle orders a glass of water. Apollo, already sitting there, comments, "My brother never lets me drink." Amused, Rochelle orders him a drink. Apollo quickly downs it, but he gets drunk so fast that he starts losing control. Rochelle and Daniela help him out of the club, but Apollo panics and refuses to go home. When Rochelle takes out her phone to call Aries, Apollo snatches it and throws it away, breaking it. With no other option, Rochelle brings him to her house, where Apollo falls asleep on her bed. Sometime later, Aries arrives at Rochelle's house. Frustrated, he asks, "Why did you give him a drink?" "He can't handle alcohol, and I knew he wouldn't return home if he drank." Aries looks at the clock and sighs. "It's already 6 a.m. I'll have to wait here until Dad leaves for the office." Aries lies down on the bed as well, and Rochelle silently comes and sits between them. However, Aries begins to touch Rochelle softly, which makes her feel a mix of emotions. Both of them start enjoying this intimate moment together. The next morning, Rochelle shares everything about the night with her friends. Hearing this, Daniela gets very excited and curious. Later, Rochelle and Yoshi return to her house to study. While studying, Rochelle notices a package delivered to her. Inside, she finds a new mobile phone and a note revealing that it's a gift from Aries. Rochelle asks Yoshi to wait and immediately heads to Aries' house to return the phone. Outside the house, she meets Artemis's secretary, Claudia, who guides her inside. Rochelle goes straight to Aries' room and places the phone on the table, saying she doesn't want it. Aries replies, "Returning a gift is not polite, especially since my brother was the one who broke your phone." Rochelle insists, "Only the screen was damaged. My old phone is still working." Saying this, she starts to leave. As she turns to go, Aries grabs her hand and says, "I want to kiss you." Rochelle pulls her hand free and storms out but stops after a few steps. Gathering her courage, she comes back and kisses him. As the kiss deepens, Aries realizes it's Rochelle's first time and gently asks, "Are you sure you're ready for this?" Rochelle nods confidently, and the two share an intense and passionate moment, completely lost in each other. After everything settles, Aries abruptly gets up, his demeanor suddenly cold, and starts playing video games. He casually tells Rochelle to take the phone with her. Feeling hurt by his behavior, Rochelle angrily grabs the phone and throws it in the dustbin before leaving. When she reaches home, Yoshi notices something is wrong and asks her what happened. Rochelle avoids the question, saying, "No studying today? I'm not in the mood. She angrily shuts her window, which directly faces Ari's room.